So, welcome to the Agent Power Huddle. My name is Nicholas Nascimento, and I am talking over somebody else, I think. No, I think we're good. Okay, I'm talking. All right, good. Um, sorry. uh, I'm excited to be here today. I'm super stoked that you all came and showed up today, wherever you're at, whether you're in the car, you're in the bed, whether you're at your desk. This is going to be a super exciting topic today because no matter where you're at or how hard you're working in your real estate business, you could be feeling like you're spinning your wheels in some aspect or another. You could feel like perhaps the next step up in your business development could be just outside of your reach, outside of your perspective, and you might not have a motivation problem, but you could have a clarity problem, a clarity problem. So today we're going to talk about getting crystal clear on who you serve, what success looks like for you, and how to align your daily actions with your bigger goals. So, first up, I want to say that this is like one of the pivotal columns of the high performance habits. I don't know if you're familiar with the high performance habits work, but clarity is one of the first habits that you want to address. Whenever you're looking at some way that you could nudge up your performance in your real estate business, or whether you're looking for a way to solve problems that you've come upon that seem like they're just outside of your usual paradigm, things you're used to fixing every day. That's when you start to hit those walls that maybe you need to take an outside perspective. And today, clarity, just being one of those outside perspectives, will oftentimes solve problems you didn't know you had. So sometimes we might be finding ourselves chasing the wrong leads, or we're working with energy draining clients that get stuck in, and you can get stuck in a comparison trap. So, what are the key three questions to find your clarity? First one is, who are you? What are your values? What are your strengths? What is your working style? What are you the educating agent? Are you a fierce negotiator? Are you a nurturing guide? Are you somewhere between? And then the next question for you might be, what is it that you want? Like in a negotiation, what do you want? Do you want your client's interests? I mean, of course. Do you want to find a way to create an equanimous outcome for both parties? I mean, almost always. But let's talk about some other aspects, which are, what's your annual income goal? What number of transactions do you want to do? What lifestyle do you want real estate to subsidize for you so that you feel joy in your heart when you show up to work and you're more present and more available for your clients in ways that maybe you didn't even know you could do? So, the next part of this, though, is thinking about who you serve. Who is your ideal client? What is the market you work? Are you working the entire city? Are you working three cities? Are you working one neighborhood? Are you working one street? You can get granular, or you could get like Mona Lisa style, big picture. Then another thing to contemplate when you're thinking of this is, are you serving first-time homebuyers, investors, retirees, or relocation families? So that's like the business side of clarity. These are the things that you kind of have to figure out what your niche is going to be and work into it. But I want you to pause for a moment and write down this sentence for that aspect of business. I help, write this down. I help, then name the type of client, identify them in a location to achieve specific results. You need to design those specific results through a unique strength or process. Now, I'm a real estate agent of 15 years now, and I've been working in the Portland area with the Dill Group, and we have we've realized that having a process is half of the battle. If you got somebody who's coming in the door and they don't know that you know what's the next step for them to reach their goals in real estate, they're so much more likely to walk out the door, forget your name, and to feel as though you don't really have a lot of confidence in what you're delivering. So it's important to take those three questions and put them into a sentence to try and complete the idea. Who are you? What do you want? And who you serve? Those three questions alone can help you to establish your real estate business or to get out of a funk of your real estate business if you feel like you've been serving the wrong people, doing the wrong work, working the wrong areas. Try and get those things cleared up, and that will help you to nudge yourself through any struggles you're experiencing regarding those aspects. Now, that's just one facet. That's like the easy hanging fruit for clarity. What I think is often the struggle, the hurdle that just feels unsurmountable is the clarity killers. So oftentimes our feelings get in the way of us developing a solution for somebody because we find them annoying, we find them insistent, or they said some really weird words and I'm not sure how to react to that. And often, like, you have to take some of those things out of your mind and set them aside and think to yourself, okay, regardless of how weird this person is, what do I want? Or where do I want to be at the end of this? How do I want to see my business develop out of this interaction? So that's one aspect of how clarity can be killed by some outside force. Now, some of the internal forces are that sometimes maybe you feel like you have to take every deal that comes your way because you might feel like deals are scarce. You might feel like, well, I might not get many chances like this. And maybe you're getting a feeling of comparing yourself to other agents, like, oh, well, that person started the same time I did or started last year and they're already doing more deals than I'm doing a year. What am I doing wrong? And then there's the other clarity killer, which is if you're chasing a volume, but you don't feel like you're aligned with the work you're doing. So you could feel burnt out really quick if you're just going for 50 calls a day and every day you get done with that second call and you're like, I don't want to do this next call. You still got 48 to go. You're burnt out. That's not great. So if you're saying yes to everyone, or if you're saying no to clients, or saying yes to every activity, you really want to try and find a way to say yes to the work that lights you up, that brings you joy, that helps you to feel like you're moving towards your goals. And that's where clarity about your goals can help you to move towards those things. Now, next, I want to talk about the tools that you can use to build and maintain your clarity. Oftentimes, it's easy to write down and to use the muscle memory and the visual memory and just put it on paper. I know you could type it up on a computer. That has its effects, yes, but maybe write it down with a pen and pencil. Write down what your business goals are. Write down your ideal client profile. Write down your personal values, your professional values. Write down your income targets and write down your personal mission. And you can put this in a notebook, set this notebook on the shelf, and at the end of the year, look at it and be like, oh my gosh, I totally hit these things. Or maybe wait like a week, look at it again and say, oh boy, I got way off track last week. I need to realign. So having that all that stuff clearly written out and with that muscle memory tone, like, can really set you up for a strong foundation of having clarity where you're going. And then the next spot would be to use visual anchors, maybe a whiteboard, or having a printed sheet with goals, like having a sheet with a little checklist of every time you've helped somebody in the neighborhood you want to be in, or every deal you've done, or every listing you've had, every phone call you make. Have a little checklist. Give yourself something visual that shows your goal and gives you a way to interact with it, is critical. Then the next part is you got to reflect. Like oftentimes we just go through a week and we'll come to Sunday or we'll come to Saturday and or Monday, and we'll just look back and be like, I don't want to think about it. I'd rather not. But you've pulled all your appointments out and you put them in the next week, but like you don't want to think about what happened last week. But you have to ask yourself, have you acted in alignment with your vision for that week? And sometimes you'll find the weeks that you had the worst time in your business may have been also saddled with a lot of fuzzy headedness. Maybe things were going on that was distracting you from feeling like you could work in alignment with your business. There are so many different emotional and mental rocks in the water that you have to navigate around. And it's so easy to just put your anchor down and not move. And so it's often good to look back and say, did I stop somewhere where I should have kept going? Or did I avoid a possible better outcome by holding back on what my intentions and my needs are? After that, I think it's important to tell you, I'm not just saying this because it looks good on paper. I'm not saying this because it seems like a great idea. When I really got clear about who I was, it was a full life-changing event. I started off in a fully different lifestyle. I was studying the sciences. I was living in another state. I had basically shaken up my entire social tree and I felt lost. And it was so easy to just get lost and feel lost and stay lost and not think about what I actually wanted to do from that point on. But when I got clear about who I was, I could then get clear about how I wanted to serve. So I got clear that I wanted to be in Portland, and I got clear feeling that I wanted to work in real estate. And then we started getting more clear together with my team about, where was time wasted? What bad habits, what bad mindsets were holding us back? And we started to attract clients, and the worlds have changed since then. But this also shows up as a solution for people who are working with clients. So I found that having this perspective of seeking clarity and utilizing high performance habits came out entirely useful when I was working with a client, and we would go into a house and I could tell in their eyes that they weren't sure that they liked this house. They weren't sure why they like this house. They weren't sure if they like this house. And helping people figure out what it is they're feeling, asking questions to get more clarity, even asking them questions about their goals. Use these questions for your clients when you're in a house and you see them get a little bit like wobbly eye and lost in the process. Ask them, do you see yourself loving having this living room? Do you see yourself enjoying this kitchen? What do you like about this kitchen? Ask them, because they may say, I like this kitchen, but you don't know why they like the kitchen. And the next time you see a house with them, you'll be like, this is just like that last kitchen. They're like, I hate it. And you don't realize that it had nothing to do with what the kitchen looked like. It was where the kitchen was or what it was looking at. You don't know these things until you ask. So seek clarity in those types of situations. It's critical. Um, I feel that the other ways that the clarity can be beneficial is when you're working in a negotiation. Sometimes it's easy to take a take a line item and obsess about that line item, and you may not necessarily know what's going on with it. So ask more questions, find out why that's there. Like, why do they want to take their refrigerator with them? Why is that important to them? Why is it that they want to have all the walls painted by the seller before they buy? I don't, you don't know until you know. There may be some latent family story that they're working through about, like, oh, I was a kid, my parents bought this house and there was this wall that never got painted, and it bugged me. And it was there for 20 years and it was never painted and I wanted to paint it. You don't know these things until you ask. So it's always critical to ask clarifying questions, dig a little deeper. Because sometimes the lack of clarity can create fear. It's easy to not know what's going on and to assume that it might not be in your favor, to get lost in that fear that things aren't going your way. But oftentimes things are going your way, you just don't know it. You don't know the details of the things that look like they're not in your favor. And if you find out more, if you do research, if you look into the problem that's facing you, that's scaring you, you can find out that you might find out that it's actually in your favor, and or it is exactly the way it's supposed to be. And you just got to keep trotting along. You got to keep pushing through and finding the solution for the problem you're facing. Um, an example might be like you might have a client who's not a great communicator, and it's true. People in general are not, like, they don't go to school to get communication degrees and then go back to school to get whatever proficiency they're looking for. You have an engineer out there who's like transferring into your city or moving around your city, and the guy probably doesn't talk as much as you do to other people. And so you got to take that in consideration when you're talking to people about what their feelings are, what their needs are, what their emotions are. They may not actually share those things with anybody, and you're going to be the person who gets to help crack that shell. And oftentimes you may even be talking to other agents, and the things that they say or the way they say them might give you a feeling of something that's scary or gives you anxiety. And the only way to find out why they're saying things that way, or what their goals are, or if there's a way to get through whatever negative emotion you're sensing, is to find out more. Ask more information. If somebody has like a weird tone with you, you could always stop a conversation and say, "Hey, is everything okay? I just want to check in because I want to make sure that we're all showing up as heroes for our clients, and I just want to see you get elevated to your client as well. How can we achieve that goal too?" Or find out if there's other things going on that they just don't want to bring up, but they can't help but involve into their lives. So in many ways, too, the lack of clarity can bring you distress at home. Not having a clear set of like what the boundaries are for your work life. If you've got an office at home, if you've got the door shut, you've got a sign on that says "please don't," but people keep walking in on you while you're in a meeting. Like, sometimes it's good to have like a clear, "Hey, I'm gonna open the door whenever I'm able to be talking with anybody, or open for interruptions or conversation. But if this door is shut, I need focus. I need to like stay focused on this." And so that's one aspect. And then another thing is, I think it's easy to go out and to come back with the struggles you've been experiencing from the world, the frustrations you've had with the clients who are waffling on every house they've come upon, or the agent who's been writing you about sending an addendum that your client doesn't want to sign. And it's easy to walk into your door and to bring those emotions with you to your family. So another place where clarity can be beneficial for you in your personal life is to show up with that clear difference of embracing your values, embracing your goals with your family, thinking to yourself as you walk through the door, who is it you are to them and what energy you want to bring to them. And it can really change your life. Like your family will notice a difference if you're on the phone and you're like, obviously struggling to explain something that's complicated. And then you hang up the phone and then you take a deep breath, give yourself a moment to reset or release whatever you've been experiencing, and then move into your personal life with that personal touch of your personal goals and your personal aspirations. And having those two things separated can be beneficial for you if you don't feel that your personal life is staying in development with your professional life. So to wrap it all up, I want to say that the point that I was trying to drive home that I hope landed with you is that clarity is about knowing who you are, what you want, and who you serve, and how you serve them. And if you can have those things really tidied up and solidified, everything else gets easier. And I want to challenge you to remember to write down your statement about who you are, how you serve, who you serve, and what it is you do. And then if this resonated with you, I want you to go ahead and subscribe to the Agent Collective Power Huddle and share this with a fellow agent. Let me know if you have any clarity breakthroughs. And if you want any extra help getting clear about either professional or personal aspects of your performance, reach out. My name is Nicholas Nascimento with the Dill Group at eXp Realty. And as always, we want you to stay curious, to stay in the hustle, and to stay inspired.
If you'd like more information or to get connected to the Agent Power Huddle, join our free Facebook group. This call was designed for the agents in our eXp organization, but open to any agent from any brokerage. If you're a guest and you're interested in learning more about eXp or our specific resources within the Agent Collective, reach out to the person who invited you to this call to get more info. Produced by the Agent Collective Media Network.